In the vast, icy expanse of the Antarctic, where towering glacier loomed like ancient sentinels against the churning, frigid sea, and the relentless wind howled like a chorus of ghosts, lived a bustling colony of Adelie penguins. The landscape was a merciless realm of crystalline blues and whites, punctuated by the sharp cracks of calving icebergs and the distant roars of leopard seals lurking in the shadows of the waves. Amid this frozen wilderness, the penguins huddled in tight-knit groups, their black and white plumage a stark contrast to the endless snow. Among them was Skipper, a penguin of robust build with a glossy coat that shimmered under the pale sun, and a boisterous call that echoed across the ice like a trumpet. He was renowned for his daring dives into the treacherous waters, plunging depths that others feared, emerging with mouthfuls of silvery krill. Yet, his slightly clumsy waddle on land often drew chuckles from his peers, an endearing flaw that masked a deeper restlessness. Skipper was a creature of habit, following the seasonal rhythms of migration and mating, but deep down, he yearned for a connection that transcended the usual squawking competitions and territorial displays. He observed the other male penguins with a mix of envy and detachment as they vied for the attention of females, presenting the shiniest pebbles scavenged from the rocky shores and performing elaborate courtship dances that involved synchronized flips and bows. None of it resonated with him. It felt performative, lacking the genuine spark he craved in his solitary moments gazing at the aurora-streaked skies. One blustery afternoon, as the Antarctic summer waned and a particularly fierce blizzard descended upon the colony like a vengeful spirit, whipping snow into blinding whiteouts that obscured even the nearest neighbors, Skipper found himself separated from the main huddle. The storm's fury was unrelenting, with gusts that could knock a penguin off its feet and temperatures plummeting to bone-chilling lows. Seeking shelter, he waddled determinedly toward a jagged rocky outcrop that jutted defiantly from the ice, its surface etched by centuries of wind erosion. There, partially shielded from the gale, he encountered Pip, a smaller, more reserved penguin whose sleek form was huddled low against the stone. Pip's eyes held a quiet intelligence, reflecting the subtle hues of the stormy sky, and his movements were deliberate, almost contemplative. Unlike the boisterous males or the flirtatious females, Pip was meticulously arranging a small collection of smooth, grey stones, each one polished by the sea's relentless caress, seemingly oblivious to the raging tempest around him. Skipper, usually so confident in his dives and calls, felt an unfamiliar shyness wash over him like a cold wave. He hesitated, his flippers twitching nervously, before letting out a tentative squawk that cut through the wind's roar. Pip looked up, his gaze steady and unjudging, and responded with a soft, melodic call that carried a warmth defying the cold. In the shared silence of the storm, punctuated only by the occasional howl of the gale, an unspoken understanding began to form. As the blizzard raged on, they shared stories, Skipper recounting his thrilling encounters with schools of fish and near misses with predators, his voice growing animated despite the chill. Pip, in turn, spoke of his fascination with the patterns in the ice formations and the subtle changes in the ocean currents, revealing a depth of observation that Skipper had never encountered. Unlike the other females, who often seemed more interested in the size of a male's pebble collection or the grandeur of his displays, Pip listened intently, his eyes sparkling with genuine interest. Skipper was captivated by Pip's gentle nature, his thoughtful gaze, and the way he seemed to see beyond the surface of things. As the storm subsided, leaving a fresh blanket of snow in its wake, their conversation lingered, planting the seeds of a bond that felt both new and inevitable. Their bond deepened over the following weeks, evolving into a companionship that wove itself into the fabric of their daily lives amid the colony's ceaseless activity. The Antarctic days stretched long under the midnight sun, allowing for extended fishing trips where Skipper and Pip ventured together into the icy waters. Skipper's bold dives complemented Pip's precise, calculated swims, and they returned with bountiful catches, sharing their haul not just for sustenance but as a ritual of their growing intimacy. In quieter moments, they preened each other's feathers with a tenderness usually reserved for mated pairs, their beaks gently smoothing ruffled plumage while the colony bustled around them. These acts of affection were subtle yet profound, drawing them closer in a world where survival demanded constant vigilance. Skipper found solace in Pip's calm presence, which tempered his own impulsiveness, while Pip drew strength from Skipper's unwavering courage. They explored hidden coves along the coastline, where seals basked lazily and albatrosses soared overhead, sharing laughs translated through playful squawks at Skipper's occasional slips on the slick ice. Yet, this budding relationship was not without its internal challenges. Skipper grappled with doubts, wondering if his feelings aligned with the colony's expectations, while Pip, ever the introspective one, pondered the vulnerability of opening his heart in such a harsh environment. Their unconventional pairing did not go unnoticed by the colony, where traditions ran as deep as the glacial fissures. Whispers spread like ripples in a meltwater pool. Some older penguins, with their weathered beaks and faded plumage, squawked in confusion and disapproval, viewing the duo as a deviation from the natural order of mating and chick-rearing. Penguins pair for eggs and survival, one elder grumbled during a communal huddle, his voice carrying the weight of seasons past. Younger ones, however, observed with wide-eyed curiosity, their playful antics pausing as they watched Skipper and Pip from afar. A few even mimicked their affectionate preening in jest, sparking light-hearted debates among the fledglings. Skipper and Pip, however, were too engrossed in their burgeoning relationship to heed the murmurs. They focused instead on building a life together, constructing a nest in a sheltered nook amid the rocks, a sturdy structure of carefully selected pebbles, layered with soft down plucked from their own chests. It was a labor of love, each stone placed with intention, symbolizing their commitment. Though the nest remained empty at first, the desire to nurture, to raise a chick and pass on their shared wisdom, burned strongly in both of them. They dreamed of a family, discussing in hushed squawks how they would teach a young one to dive, to navigate the stars, and to face the Antarctic's trials with resilience. One fateful day, as the harsh winter tightened its grip and food grew scarcer, a young female penguin named Myra, overwhelmed by the demands of her own large clutch and weakened by relentless foraging in depleted waters, made a heart-wrenching decision. Exhausted and frail, her feathers matted from the cold, she abandoned one of her eggs, leaving it cold and vulnerable on the periphery of the colony, seemingly forgotten amid the swirling snow. The egg, a fragile orb of potential life, lay exposed to the elements, its surface already frosting over. Skipper and Pip, out on a routine patrol along the ice edge, witnessed this poignant scene. An immediate, powerful instinct surged through them, a paternal drive that transcended biology. Pip, with his gentle precision, nudged the egg tentatively with his beak, testing its viability, while Skipper stood guard, his robust form shielding it from the wind. Together, they rolled it carefully across the uneven terrain, their flippers working in unison to avoid cracks or jolts. The journey back to their nest was arduous, fraught with slippery inclines and the watchful eyes of opportunistic skuas circling overhead, but their determination prevailed. Once nestled in their meticulously crafted home, they took turns incubating it, their warm bellies providing the vital heat and protection it desperately needed. The colony watched this unfold with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Some elders clucked in doubt, predicting failure, while others, moved by the display, offered tentative nods of respect. Skipper and Pip faced their own trials during this period, nights of unrelenting cold where doubt crept in, and days where hunger gnawed as they prioritized the egg over their own needs. Weeks turned into a tense vigil, the colony's rhythm of life continuing around them with migrations and squabbles, but for Skipper and Pip, time narrowed to the egg's subtle movements. They communicated through soft calls, sharing encouragement and rotating shifts with seamless coordination. Finally, after what felt like an eternity under the dim winter sun, a tiny crack appeared in the shell, spiderwebbing outward like a promise fulfilled. With bated breath, they watched as a small, fluffy chick emerged, its weak chirps piercing the air like a melody of hope. Skipper and Pip were overcome with a joy that transcended any societal norm, their eyes meeting in a moment of profound connection. They named their chick Pebble, a heartfelt tribute to the small stones that had first drawn them together in that fateful blizzard. Raising Pebble proved to be a formidable challenge, as it is for any penguin parent in the unforgiving Antarctic. They tirelessly hunted for krill in the increasingly scarce waters, braving swells and predators to regurgitate nourishing meals for their hungry offspring. Incidents tested their resolve. Once, a marauding skua swooped low, intent on snatching Pebble, but Skipper's bold charge and Pip's clever diversion thwarted the attack. Another time, during a sudden thaw that turned the ice treacherous, Pebble wandered too close to a crevasse, only to be rescued by their vigilant teamwork. Through it all, Their combined efforts, Skipper's strength and Pip's insight, proved to be a formidable force, fostering Pebble's growth into a sturdy, inquisitive fledgling. As Pebble grew strong and healthy, his downy fluff giving way to sleek feathers, the other penguins in the colony began to see past the unconventional nature of Skipper and Pip's relationship. Initial skepticism melted like spring ice, replaced by admiration for the devoted parents and the thriving family unit that had emerged against all odds. Pebble's playful antics, chasing after krill scraps and mimicking his father's dives, became a source of communal delight, drawing even the elders into moments of warmth. Skipper and Pip's success in raising him became a quiet testament to the power of love and commitment, proving that families could be formed in myriad ways, unbound by tradition. It challenged the colony's rigid views, inspiring subtle shifts. Pairs began to experiment with shared duties, and acceptance grew like a slow thaw. Their story, whispered among the ice floes and carried by the wind to distant colonies, evolved into a legend of enduring love, resilience, and the triumph of an unconventional family in the heart of the frozen continent. In the end, as Pebble took his first independent dive into the sea, Skipper and Pip stood side by side, their bond unbreakable, a beacon of hope in a world of ice and uncertainty. And so, in the bustling heart of the penguin colony where icy winds whip across the rocks and the calls of thousands echo across the cliffs, two gay penguins, Skipper and Pip, carved out a life together. What began with a single, carefully chosen pebble, a symbol of courtship and commitment in the penguin world, grew into something far greater. As partners, they built nests, shared duties, and raised not just one, but several healthy chicks over the years. Their bond was unwavering. They took turns incubating eggs, shielding their young from the cold, and guiding them toward the sea. They did everything any devoted penguin parents would do because love, in its truest form, knows no boundaries. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply exists. In the natural world, same-sex pairings are not anomalies, they're part of the rich, diverse spectrum of animal behavior. From penguins to dolphins, giraffes to swans, gay animals have always been here. Their stories are not just fascinating, they're natural, normal, and worthy of celebration. These two penguins remind us that family is not defined by gender, but by care, cooperation, and connection. Their chicks thrived, not in spite of their parents' partnership, but because of it. And in doing so, they challenged outdated assumptions and offered a simple, powerful truth. Love is love, even in feathers and flippers. If this story warmed your heart or sparked your curiosity, we invite you to subscribe for more incredible tales from the animal kingdom. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. What do you think about gay animals and the many beautiful ways nature expresses love? Let's keep the conversation going, because the more we understand the natural world, the more we understand ourselves. See you next time.